In this interview, Raoul gave the reasons as to why his bullish ethereum price prediction didn't come to fruition and where he sees this current turbulent market going. So, let's see what Raoul has to say about it. I think two things happened firstly, price got ahead of network activity. So what happened was people weren't there wasn't a lot of new transactions in the network either. Value transacted wasn't going up and the number of new wallets or active wallets wasn't going up, so price went up and the network didn't, and it didn't stick, and the issue was inflation. So why does inflation matter? Well, because the crypto's still a retail network, right? It's really driven by retail, and if you've raised prices on people and wages don't go up as much, they've got less discretionary income. That discretionary income was the dollar cost averaging that went into crypto, and so people stopped because they had to pay their grocery bills or their rent, so that's why it just stopped. So it shows how macroeconomics influences crypto markets in ways that people don't quite yet understand, but that was the big thing that happened end of last year and has continued to weigh on the market this year because network growth hasn't really improved. So we've seen rotations within the market, so we saw people switching from each to layer ones, and we saw NFTs hold their value, stuff, as people are reallocating what they've got in the market, generally reallocating ethereum. A lot of Bitcoin people tend to stick with Bitcoin, but a lot of the ETH people relocated different parts of it, like NFTs particularly got a lot of attention. The balance of probabilities is that we made the low last year, we retested the low this year, and I think the low is in, but who the hell really knows, right? So I got the back end of last year wrong like everybody else. I thought we were going to get this run and we didn't see it. I think we've thrown a war, 8.5% inflation, the Fed raising interest rates, all at crypto. We've thrown Chinese ban, we've thrown so much at it, and it didn't make a new low. Usually that's a signal the market has found its bottom, and so now we're looking for what are the upside catalysts. The upside catalyst would be if economic growth starts slowing. We're likely to see then long duration assets, things that tend to outperform in low growth environments, and crypto tends to very well in that kind of environment, much like Cathie Wood's art does those longer term assets. So that's what we're looking for as the spark. I think is a change in structure, so people fear inflation less and stop fearing growth more. I think it's over because the market is much larger than it was and Bitcoin is not as dominant, so at the margin the 4-year cycle will have an impact, but not as large an impact. For example, the F2.0 thing is going to create a potential dynamic that's different. So I think the cycles have changed, and I think over time these very volatile trends get less volatile, and we saw that with Amazon in its early days. It was like up and down 95%, then 65%, and then just gets less and less because more people are in the network. So it's the same with crypto now. There's 600 million people, 300 million people are using it now. So what's happening is the volatility dampens. So I think the new down 85% is the new down 50 is the down 50 where we are now. So it's like we've had a bear market. We've been in a bear market for a year. Could it go down 65? Possibly, but it's unlikely to go down 85%. People have a very recency bias, and they only know what they know, and people who've been in the Bitcoin market have only been around network adoption model for decades, so they've only seen a few cycles. But if you go to Facebook, Amazon, Google, they've all had these for decades, and you can see how they work, and they tend to lower volatility over time. If you want to watch the full interview, check out the link in the description. What do you think of Raoul's thoughts here? Leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.